He makes her bid for a little piece of history.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Run of the Race. Brittany Taylor and Mark Warwood with you to steer you through everything that happened on Saturday, and it was the opening of Belmont. Mark, great to be back at Belmont.
Yeah, I love Belmont. I love the track there. I think it's the fairest metropolitan track in the whole of Australia. The long straight, very few hard luck stories at Belmont.
It'll be very interesting to jump in and have a look at all the figures to come out of Belmont as we look for our Forget, Forgive and Follow from Saturday's meeting. Let's start with the 2-year-olds in the first race, and Kelvin backed up from that trial on Monday where it finished second to Amelia Bedelia and was targeted a bit of support and managed to justify that.
By Fan Dazzle, then came Proceeds of Crime struggling, and 2 lengths to Kendall's Impact. Coming around the bend though, Red Can Man being softened up by Specialism. It's Specialism over on the outside, going to a narrow lead from Red Can Man. 1.5 lengths to Kelvin saved up. Mia Dolce again getting into bother down on the inside. Rocky Path is running on, 200 left to go. Kelvin makes its move, ranges up, joins Red Can Man who kicks, beats off Specialism. Rocky Path, but Kelvin starting to draw right away from them. And Kelvin, it's Kelvin landing very good bets to win for me.
Kelvin winning there, getting Fred Kersley and Jade McNaught's day off to a flying start. It was only going to get better after that, but at this juvenile here, they're starting to step up into a little bit more ground, 1,300 metres. It was a nice win.
Yeah, the ratings weren't particularly hot. I'm not going to follow Kelvin out of the race. I'm going to follow Rocky Path. Had the fastest sectionals from the last 800 onwards, and he's yet to cop a penalty, unlike the winner of this race. So I think there's a win in Rocky Path. I also think he was the Forgive horse in the race as well. He was pretty keen in the run. He settled 5th in what was an on-pace dominated race. So forgiving Rocky Path and following the same horse. I'm going to forget Specialism here. Finished 4th, maybe 1,300 metres, a little bit too far. I say that in spite of her finishing 2nd in the Science Produce Stakes. The reason why I'm forgetting her is she's yet to run a rating better than benchmark according to Punting Form.
Okay, interesting in the Forget file there is Specialism, the Ascot Horse of the Year. We will soon see if she can bring that to Belmont. All right, the next race, well, this horse had been, I guess, a little bit out of form, probably taken a little while to build into this preparation. We know that he loves Belmont and William Pike, and well, he showed it. Here's Battle Talk.
In front, Mrs. Brown's Boy back running 4th. The Fancies conceding the leader about 6 and 7 lengths respectively on the home corner. Maginica making all haste for the judge at the 450, led by 2.5 War God, Friaresque and Mrs. Brown's Boy. Battle Talk down towards the inside. Money Maher. Noski's really hard at work on the favourite from Capodoro. Touch of Silver. Maginica's the leader. 200 to go. 1.5 lengths still from Friaresque. War God. Here's Battle Talk, and Pike is starting to wind him up. Maginica gobbled up by Battle Talk. Gee, they're a good combination, this pair, and Battle Talk is able to rebound.
Battle Talk winning there. Now, I must admit, I've been waiting for the rain to come around for this horse. We know how much he loves the soft tracks, but getting back to Belmont, and he's been able to record a nice figure.
Yeah, 5th win at the track. He absolutely loves the joints, and he, of course, he's the poster boy at Belmont Park, him and William Pike. He doesn't make the file because he's going to cop a ratings penalty for that. And like you, Britt, I was waiting to see a bit more of a muddy track, maybe deeper into his preparation. You might find it hard to win again, old Battle Talk. So I'm going to follow Capodoro at this race. Well, I thought it was a very good run, considering the last start was in the WA Cup that he won over the 2 miles. Really good sectionals home. Forgetting War God, 11 losses in a row now for War God since he won the Bolton Sprint at Belmont last season. And we will forgive Money Maher here. They blamed the run on him being second up. If you go back through his form, last time second up, he was 7th of 8th in the Lex Piper Stakes, and then he came back and bounced back. Unfortunately, he's done himself an injury, and we probably won't see Money Maher for the best part of 12 months.
Which is really unfortunate. So our thoughts are with the connections of Money Maher. It can be a difficult game sometimes, and you certainly have the highs and the lows, and unfortunately for them, Money Maher has redone a suspensory. So not good news for them, but we move on to race number 3, and this one was won by Dacio, giving Jade McNaught and Fred Kersley the second leg of their double.
Up to join at 600 from home. They're 1.5 lengths going out together, clear of Regal Council. Pastry 4th, 1 length away, Wacken Tanker being followed wide on the course, Baron Bostock. Back in between horses, Lido Beach, Dacio next near the rail, and Essential Spices the wide widest of them at the 350 to rise again on the outside. Got a half a length on Catherine Wheel, Regal Council, Dacio. Then getting clear, Lido Beach being followed by Essential Spice. Catherine Wheel fights back. Now Dacio gets a needle eye opening on its inside. Dacio, the little filly, spears through, grabs the lead. Pastry diving for second, but it's...
Dacio winning over the 1,000 metres. Now she's only a tiny little horse, so I think that benefit of Jade McNaught's 3 kilo claim was everything. Weight down to 53.5 and she finds herself in the winner's circle.
Fastest sectionals all the way home. Really good performance by Dacio. Doesn't make the file though. Just the 2 horses in the file. I'm going to forget to rise again. Had run 3 in a row before coming to Belmont Park on Saturday, but going back through his form, I'm not really sure about the merits of those 3 victories. I'm going to forgive Catherine Wheel a wide gate, but still faster than benchmark, both to the 600 and home from the 600. I thought that was an okay effort, and I will follow Catherine Wheel next start. Probably better suited to more than 1,000 metres. I think can win another race.
Okay, the 4th race was won by Finally French, a horse that's been able to put 2 wins in a row, and I'll tell you what, I don't think you will have found a better presented horse on Saturday. He looked outstanding. Here's him winning.
Is improving quickly between horses. So Snuggerlots in that group as well, coming to the home corner. A length and a half behind those Texas Moon, Host, Win Pegasus, and last and very wide is as they make the turn west 54th and they straighten up 375 to run. Copper Fury down on the inside of Sterling Estate. Outside of them Soitan Rapido, just a fluke, and now around their heels Finally French is starting to spot some room. Soitan Rapido reached the lead. Finally French joined it with Arafura running on as well. It's Finally French, Soitan Rapido, but Finally French proved much too good. Finally French beat Soitan.
Finally French winning there, and a little bit of a direct comparison since we had the 2,000 metre races run back to back. This one ran 1 length slower to the 600 to the previous one that was won by Dacio.
Yeah, Finally French has a reputation as a bit of a gunner, this horse. I think he had about 5 or 6 seconds in a row, but he's now won 2 on the bounce. He's probably got some confidence from them as well, and I think he's probably the follow horse, mainly because he's still eligible for this class of race, this 1 Metro win. So he's the follow. The forget horse is Coppo Fury here, stone motherless in each of its last 2 races and now heading for the paddock. I'm going to forgive Soitan Rapido here, wide throughout, came back without one of her plates. As placed in back-to-back graduation handicaps, you'd think that Soitan Rapido can land one of these.
All right, that is the look at the first half of the meeting. We'll take a quick break, and on the other side, we'll have a look at the remaining 4 races.
Turning up for a picnic with chicken chunks? Ooh, orchies. Turning up for a picnic on a horse? Delightful. Life's better with horses. See you at the races.
Welcome back to the run of the race, where we are up to race number 5, and this one was won by Flower of War, a filly, maintained her unbeaten record, had the wide gate, that was no problem, shot straight to the front, and here she is sailing away for victory.
On the outside next of all, not to be missed as they go by the 550. The last couple, Megazone, 1 Point Lady. Flower of War brings them to the home corner. By the 450 now, they're at the top of the home straight, and the unbeaten filly heads for home. Flower of War. Inflation is immediately under heavy pressure. In behind them, Son of Bacchus. Advocator getting an inside run. City Circle is there. Mankind winds up, and so does Not to be missed, but Flower of War with 200 left to go. In front from City Circle and Inflation. Flower of War in trouble. City Circle draws alongside. It's City Circle. Flower of War kicks back. She fights, she digs in, she responds, and she gets it.
Ben Patterson and Flower of War continuing their great association. First time at 1,300 metres, Mark. In terms of the figures, how does that compare?
Probably its worst run of its 4 starts, so doesn't make the file here, Flower of War. I thought she was a pretty good price on Saturday. Drifted from 370 out to 460. And was certainly not the market elect. That was not to be missed. It was the other unbeaten horse in the race. Looking at the file, I'm going to forget Son of Bacchus here, worst of the on-speed brigade in this slowly run race. Slow sectionals as well, so Son of Bacchus gets the sack. I'm going to forgive Forgotten Star. Settled 8th It was a slow tempo, wasn't really clear until 200 metres from home, so it wasn't probably the best run in transit for Forgotten Star. I am going to follow that horse as well though. Fastest sectionals, including the fastest splits from the 4 to the 2 and the 2 to the winning post. I think Alan Matthews will have a winner on his hands shortly.
Let's hope so. All right, the next race, this was a good effort. iArt, she'd placed 5th on Wednesday on the 3-day backup, managed to win here at Belmont.
Unending, who was forced to cover extra ground in the middle stages, getting around iArt. Lennon Song and Altamont behind those, followed by Dark Royalty. They're starting to pack up now. And Media Baron is last of all, entering the home straight at the 400. Palace Rogue first into the stretch from Sacks on, Sacks off. Letting loose though, 23 Red. Begged to Differ gets an inside run. Diplomat Express Unending coming down the outside. Further back then came Media Baron starting to thread his way through. And iArt's coming down the outskirts of the track with 150 left to go. iArt, Diplomat Express Unending from Media Baron. iArt reaches the lead, however, and iArt on the quick backup from Pinjarra Wednesday.
iArt winning there. She can be quite a hot kind of horse, so perhaps that quick turnaround just took the edge off her a little bit, although William Pike didn't seem to think so. She was all sorts of hard work after the race. Wasn't able to grab an interview with him, but she's really showing what she's capable of.
Yeah, I think this was the performance of the day. I hired off that quick backup, and she is the follow horse here. She's really well related. 3 of her siblings have won black type races. She's now won 3 of her last 4 starts. I think she's a horse to follow. I'm going to forget Palace Rogue here. Finished 13th. That's his 4th consecutive poor run in town this preparation, and significantly, according to Punting Form, his ratings are getting worse with every run. And I'll forgive Media Baron. He finished 4th. He was slow into stride. He ended up last in this race. Didn't get clear running, but that is the story of Media Baron's life. Fastest sectionals bar in the last 200 metres. He's a frustrating watch because when it all comes together, he just wins, but it just doesn't happen very often.
It's very true. He's always one that you sort of get an eye-catching run out of and black book for the next start. And sometimes he just doesn't quite deliver. Okay, the next race, this was an interesting one. I always love these regional championship finals because you've got the varying form lines from all the different regional areas, but in the end, it was Moshard.
It's recalled, one away, Golden Acres, being followed wider out on the track next of all by Gifted Warrior. Over on the fence, coming to the corner, Pixated, Wanna Be Good, back about midfield. He's just looking for runs coming into the home corner. Sky Atlas, Hot Style, Parisa. They're coming towards the outside, balancing up though. Little Punga still in front from Lady Stingray, recoiled. Moshard and Pike weaving his way through. He found the opening. He sprints through quickly to grab them. Golden Acres and now Wanna Be Good winding up. Moshard, Wanna Be Good, Golden Acres, Hot Styles wide out. Moshard's the leader from Wanna Be Good though. It's a treble for Pike. He lands Moshard.
Moshard taking out the regional championship final. A horse that probably had humble beginnings but is really putting it together now.
Really frustrating galloper when he was with Dion Luciani. All sorts of gear changes. Had 12 runs before going to the Fernie camp. Didn't break his maiden until he went to Kalgoorlie. He's now had 7 starts for the trainers out in the goldfields, and he's won his last 5. He's absolutely flying. He doesn't make the file because he's going to cop a penalty, and it's asking a lot for this horse to win 6 in a row. The horses that do, I'm going to forgive Regal Moon here. Was top weight in what was a competitive race. We touched upon that at the very start. Held up until the 200, and I just think that Regal Moon is better than this grade. So forgiving Regal Moon. I'm also going to follow Regal Moon. I thought it was unlucky, and that form line behind Special Reward and also Double Bubble, I think he's better than this style of race. I will forget Gifted Warrior here. Earmuffs only for the parade this time. Hasn't won since May 2018. Put a pen through that horse.
All right, now is time for the last race, and what a win this was. And it was great to see Lee Newman, the comeback jockey, back in the winner's circle on a Saturday. Let's take a look at the Velvet King.
Power back on the fence, Mr. Elby, 600 to go, the favourite Flying Solo. Mystery Misses over on the outside next of all with Grey Enigma. Also right behind them, Sigil coming into the corner, off the rail, Special Delivery, 400 from home. Then Lucky Raw, Debilatio, Salamar, Classic Pro. The Velvet King wobbled out, probably about 6 horses from the rail. In fact, he's got out towards the middle, clear by 2. Senorita Bonita, Sigil, Mr. Elby. The Velvet King with 150 left to go, still clear. Running on over on the inside now, Turbo Power and also Diablerie, but the Velvet King's home, and the Velvet King, well, he stole the march on them there.
The Velvet King winning there. It really seemed to be at a bit of a handlebars down approach. They've gone minus 4.2. That's 4.2 lengths better than benchmark to the 600. and recorded a nice performance for a horse that hangs out, went wide, came down the middle of the track and ran away for a nice victory.
Yeah, makes the file. The Forgive horse here is Salamat. Finished last, was wide, compounded from about 400 metres home. The vet's exam said there was something amiss. Must trial now before its next race, which will probably be up in Broome. I'm going to forget Mystery Miss here. Really exciting 3-year-old filly before she went to miss and almost lost her life. That's the lowest rating she's ever put up on a city track on Saturday. I thought it was a pretty plain return from a long time off, and she may well not be the same horse we saw about 18 months ago. And I will follow the Velvet King here. Beat the older horses after a second placing behind Special Reward. It was 3/4 of a length behind Special Reward. That form has really worked out well. It works out here as well with Diablerie, and Darren McAuliffe thinks this horse will just turn up and win the Belmont Guineas.
And how often have we talked about Special Reward on this show and featuring in the best overall? Who does make that best overall rating for this week?
It's Battle Talk, the king of Belmont, and it was a remarkable performance as well, because if you look at the figures, he was 5.5 lengths slower than benchmark to the 600. The race leader was nearly 2 lengths slower as well. They came home with a wet sail to record a -3.7 and to the class a -2. So a phenomenal performance by Battle Talk. The best class rating was Dacio, another one that came home with a wet sail, -7 lengths quicker from the 600 to the winning post. And looking at the closing sectionals, Rocky Path for Vaughan Sigley, the 200 metres, and then Dacio with that burst onto Jacob North, the 400 and the 600.
Nice to see Dacio recording those sort of numbers home. All right, we will take a quick break, and on the other side we'll look at round number 1 of the Belmont tipping competition. Cannot wait to see who is our early leader.
Arriving for a hot date on a moped. Disappointing. Arriving for a hot date on a horse? Fantastic! Life's better with horses. See you at the races.
Welcome back to the run of the race, where it is time to look at Perth Racing's Tip Star of the Week. This is the first round of the new winter competition. And Mark, how did we go for an opening round?
It was pretty good. You could have got almost 2,000 points if you got the right results. You needed the first 6 winners. And Golden Acres, who's now placed a couple of times in town recently, and Diablerie, how consistent that horse has been. $4.90 for a horse that's been running into Special Reward pretty much for the last 3 months.
Gee, $8.80 for Golden Acres for a place. That would have been a nice collect. And an even nicer collect would have been Battle Talk. Did our weekly winner manage to find this horse?
Yeah, the weekly winner is Rob Mason, better known as Robbie 83 on the Tipstar competition. And he got off to a really good start with Battle Talk, and then Dacio had a couple of minor placings. But he led after 5 rounds and he didn't score any more points after that. He had Midnight Sky, Ukbar Jack and Mystery Miss, but it was enough to win that Battle Talk win with $16.30 and $3.20. It
just goes to show, if you're able to find that big collect somewhere in the meeting, then it puts you in good stead. How does that situate him on the leaderboard? Is the next one too far behind him?
He's 208 points ahead of Chaff Cutters, so he's got a reasonable lead going into the second round, but this is very early stages. There will be 19 rounds of the Belmont Park competition, provided we don't get an abandoned race meeting. And
we've seen from the previous competitions just how much that leaderboard can change, and all it takes is that big winner and someone finding it to get themselves a massive, massive lead. This weekend, another opportunity to play on Belmont Sprint Day. Let's take a look at the last 3 editions of this race.
Margin down quickly, 2 lengths to Lucky Grey. Battle Hero, Winkin and Odd, the mare have come together. They're having a great battle. 100 left to go. Battle Hero ridden desperately. Warwick shakes up Winkin and Odd. Winkin and Odd now draws a neck in front, and the mare will be too good. She wins the Belmont Sprint. Justice levelled up. Now Rock Magic's into the clear around his heels quickly. He makes his move, the Rock. Rock Magic raced up to Scales of Justice going to the 100. He got a half a length on him. Rock Magic, Scales of Justice fighting back and now disposition, but Rock Magic does it again. Rock Magic beat a brave Scales of Justice. Game in defeat. Down the outside, disposition flashing. outside, great shot, reaching the lead from Battle Hero. Material Man, 2.5 to 3 away, starting to run on. He draws the whip on the leader. Great shot with 100 to go in front, but here's Material Man. He's starting to close the margin quickly. Material Man ranges up, grabs the lead, draws away for Lucy Warwick to win the Belmont. Comes on too good for Material Man.
Some great editions of the Belmont Sprint there, including last year's win by Material Man, and he went on to have such a great Belmont season.
He did. He won all 3 of the Group 3 races staged at Belmont last season and created a little bit of history because that hadn't been done before. I suspect his record might only last for 12 months though. A certain Galaxy Star might well win the Belmont Sprint, the Hyperion and the Strickland in the next few weeks.
I think she just wins all before her. If you are thinking about it, make sure you get out onto the track because you want to witness this star mare in Galaxy Star. Hopefully we'll see you out at the track. If not, we'll catch you in next week's episode of The Run of the Race.
He makes her bid for a little piece of history.